and welcome to our third episode of Sex Education in our Autism series. My name is Elisa and joining me today is Miss Leah. Okay, in our previous video, we talked about getting our children between the age of 2 to 4 years old ready for sex education, right? But what about those who are already going to school? As we know, children between the age of 7 to 12 years old, our body starts to change. Okay, for example, girls, we get our period, we get mood swings, acne, our body changes, we develop breasts, and we also grow hair in certain body parts. And as for boys, they have wet dreams, their voice becomes deeper, and they also grow hair in certain body parts. So, Miss Leah, how can we teach our children about puberty?
Okay, so ideally about puberty, parents should introduce the puberty since from an early age. Okay, puberty is one of the process of growing up. So parents should explain it to the child that using a very simple story. For example, that for our boys that have a wet dream and they reach puberty, and then for our girls that have periods and they reach puberty. Okay, so we can always use the visual cues to explain the body changes, like Elisa explained just now. The girls will have develop the breast, okay, and then develop a body shape, and then the voice become deeper. Okay, we can use a visual cue that explains so they can have better imagination, better understanding. Okay, and then we can use also simple social story to explain the process of the wet dream, the process of the period. Okay, and that is very important also for the parents to teach and train their child to have sex responsibility from an early age, so that they can able to manage themselves independently once they reach puberty.
Okay. So, what are the strategies that parents can help their children during this puberty phase?
Okay, there are a few strategies that we can use actually. So let's start with the boys. Okay, the boys, once they reach puberty, will have the wet dreams. Wet dreams occur when the boys had a dream and they woke up, the bed might be wet and sticky. So teach your child to straight away go to the bathroom, okay, take out the dirty clothes, dirty bed sheet, wash themselves, okay, and take out the new clothes. And that is very good for our parents to use a visual cue as a reminder. Okay, these are the things that I need to do once I reach the wet dreams. Okay, and then for the girls, okay, first of all, we need to set them very calm. Okay, because it is very first experience they're having a period. Okay, let them calm. Okay, and then after they calm, then you bring your child with you to the bathroom. Teach them how to use and how to dispose sanitary pad appropriately. Okay, and that is very important also. Once your child going to the school, parents can prepare the menstrual kits bag. Okay, these are example menstrual kit bags. So inside here you can put extra sanitary pad, extra panties, and also you can keep our warm pad. Okay, and keep inside their school bag so they can use at school. Okay, and then once they have their period, of course they need to trace their own period cycles, right? So parents can use it and parents can train their child how to trace their own period cycle. So nowadays there's a lot of apps that we can use to track our own period cycle. For example, my calendar period cycle. So parents can use it and train the child how to use it. Okay, and that is very it's not necessary, but you can use it the way to set an alarm. What time to change the sanitary pad. So it's good for parents to set 2 to 3 hours for the child to change their sanitary pad. Okay, and lastly, it's very important for the parents to inform the teacher at school that my child is having a period, so that the teacher is prepared and then able to guide them to manage themselves at school also.
Okay, so as we know, girls, every month we get our period, right? So, as a parent with a daughter, how can they also know that their daughters are having menstrual cramp or menstrual pain?
Okay, for a child that are able to express themselves, they straightly can tell the parents that have stomachache, have menstrual pain. For the child that have difficulty to express themselves, what the parents can do is they can prepare a menstrual pain kit. So menstrual pain kit is one example is like this. Okay, so the child can tell the parents, "Mommy, I have very severe stomachache." So the parents can comfort them by giving a warm pad to them.
Okay, I see. Okay, another question is, how can we teach our children about social interference?
Okay, we understand that once they reach puberty, they're very curious about the position the boys and girls' body changes. Okay, the first thing that parents can do is to set social rules before their child start their social activities. Okay, it's very important for the child to know who they can touch and who they cannot touch. This is why the sex education and consent is very should be practicing from an early age. Okay, consent means that person should be permitted to be touched by another person. Okay, teach your child that no means no. Okay, by understanding and practicing consent will prevent your child from unwanted advances, and also it will prevent your child from violating another person's space.
Yes, I agree that consent should be taught to our children at a very young age. Because in other words, we are teaching them about self-responsibility. So we can touch, we can touch, right? Okay. So Miss Leah, I think another concern about for parents is about masturbation. Because as we know, boys when they reach puberty, sometimes they come across masturbation, right? So how can a parent deal with a situation like this if they come across it?
Okay, actually you cannot always say no to the child, okay, because it's natural once they reach puberty. But what the important thing that parents should do first is to teach them appropriately how to masturbate. Okay, teach your child appropriately how to masturbate by set rules that he can only masturbate inside his room with the door closed and nobody inside the room. Okay, and then avoid teaching your child or train your child to masturbate inside the bathroom, because some child will have their own conclusion that I can also masturbate in the public bathroom, which is not appropriately practicing. Okay, and always remind them to wash their hands, to cleanse themselves after they masturbate.
Okay. But is it okay to masturbate all the time?
Okay, from the health perspective, actually it's not good, it's not healthy. So this is why it's very important for parents to occupy their child's time with a very beneficial activity so that they cannot turn the masturbate as a habit.
Okay. So I think that now our children are going to school, right? So of course they want to make friends and play together. So as a parent, how can we guide or train them to socialize better with their friends?
Okay. So as we understand that some of autism kids really need guidance in terms of social interaction. So this is why social interactions skill need to be practicing from an early age. Okay, teach your child how to negotiate, how to share the toys, how to initiate play from an early age. There are a lot of ways that we can use. For example, we can always use the visual cues to explain. These are the examples, these are the visuals that you can use to explain that this is how you can play at school with your peers. Okay, and then we can also share the simple social story to explain to the kids this is appropriate way to play with your peers. Okay, and of course, the parents can always act as a role play, act as your child peers, and then advise them how to play nicely with their peers, so that when they come to school, they can practicing whatever they taught by the parents with the peers appropriately. So everything, the social interaction actually should be done from an early age.
Okay. So after today's discussion, I think I can summarize that puberty should be introduced to our children at an early age. They should know that puberty occurs in both girls and boys. Like for example, just now you mentioned girls get off period, and then boys maybe they have deeper voice, something like that. Okay. Another thing I think parents should train them to have self-responsibility and hygiene during this phase, because I think hygiene is very important during puberty, right? Okay. Besides that, I think consent also should be taught to our children at an early age, is to educate them about social appropriateness. And lastly, I think parents should guide their children on how they can socialize better with their friends in school. Okay, so thank you, Miss Leah. I think that's all for today's video. Thank you for joining us. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for our last video. Bye-bye.